Hello everyone. Today we will do some numerical problems based on the previous topic, that is electric potential energy and potential. The last topic of the previous class was potential due to charge shell. So let us summarize the concept, and it says that if we have a shell that is uniformly charged with charge Q and the radius of this cell is R, then inside the cell potential at each point is same as the potential on its surface. So potential on its surface is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R, or simply I can write it as KQ by R. This potential will be on each point of the surface as well as at every point inside this spherical shell. So for a charged shell, the potential at any point inside the cell is same as the potential on its surface. So we will solve the first problem. As per the problem, we have two concentric cells charged with charge Q1 and Q2 and with the radii R1 and R2. Now we have to find the potential at a point at a distance of R from its center, and such that your point is at a distance less than R2 and greater than this radius. So for such a kind of point which suits this condition, we need to find out the potential. So as per this condition, the point must be here. So this is my point where the net potential is required. So we will use this concept here. First of all, just see the outer cell. So this point is lying inside this outer cell. It means the potential at this point due to this cell will be same as the potential of this cell on its surface. So we will find the potential of outer cell on its surface, and that potential will be same as here due to this cell. So the potential due to outer cell, I will write it as V1, that the potential is V1 due to this cell, and this is K times charge divided by R. So this is the potential on the surface of this outer cell, and as this point is inside the cell, so from this concept, at any point inside the cell, the potential is same at its surface. So this is the potential due to this outer cell. Now we are also having another shell that contains a charge Q1. So this shell will also produce some potential at this point, and for this inner shell, the point is lying outside the cell. So for that case, if the point is lying outside, we know that potential is KQ by R. So for this cell, I will use this concept here. So for a point that is outside the cell, the potential contribution will be K times the charge over the cell and the distance of this point from the center of the cell, and that is small r. So these are the potential. The first one is the potential due to outer cell, the second one is the potential due to inner cell. So I will simply add these two, and we will get the net potential as V1 plus V2, which on simplifying gives me Q2 by R2 plus Q1 by R. This is the net potential. Now, as per the second question, once again we have two concentric cells of radii small r and capital R. As per the question, a charge is distributed on these two cells such that their charge densities are equal. So if the total amount of charge is capital Q, then it will be divided in these two cells such that the charge densities are equal. So let me take the charge on this outer cell as a small q, so the remaining charge Q minus Q will be on the inner cell. So the charges are Q and Q minus Q, and we have to find the potential at its common center O. The concept says that this point is inside both the cells. So if I will find out the potential due to this cell, it will be same as the potential on its surface as per this concept, and the potential due to outer cell will be same as the potential on the surface of outer cell. So let that the potential due to outer cell, that means the cell of radius r, is k times q divided by its radius, and for the inner shell the potential contribution will be k times the charge divided by radius. So to find the net potential, we will simply add the potential due to inner cell and the outer cell. So this is q by r plus q minus q by small. Now as the question says that the charge is so distributed on both the cells that their charge densities are equal. So we know that the charge density, that is the surface charge density, is the ratio of charge to its surface area. So for this outer cell, the charge is q and the surface area is 4 pi r square. Similarly, I can find out the charge density of inner cell, and for that the charge is q minus q divided by area is 4 pi r square. If I will simplify this, then on simplifying, q comes out to be q r square divided by r square plus r square. Since the portion that is on the outer cell of the total charge is known, so I will use this in this equation number. Let me call this equation as 1. So using in 1, we get the potential as k. This is q by r. The value of q is this one, plus q minus small q once again, if we will simplify this expression, q r plus 1 divided by r square plus r square. So on simplifying, you will get the net potential at the common center like this expression, where the value of k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. As per the question shown in display, there are two charges. One is 3 into 10 raised power minus 18 coulomb, and the other one is minus 2 into 10 raised power minus 18 coulomb, and they are placed at a distance of 15 centimeter. So if the such charges are placed at a distance of 15 centimeter, and we need to find the point where the potential due to these two charges is 0, and that point lies on the line joining the two charges. Before solving this question, let me introduce you one concept, and that concept is very easy to understand. That if we have two like charges separated by some distance, then there will not be any such point where the potential due to these two charges is 0. So if the question says that you are having two charges and find the potential at any point where the potential is 0, this is not possible. The same stands for negative charges too. So if you have a pair of negative charges separated by a distance, then potential will not be zero at any point on the line joining the charges. So these two cannot be the situation where the potential due to these charges on a line joining the charges is zero. So to meet this condition, we must have two charges that are with opposite signs, because you know that potential is a scalar quantity and it adds up. So for rest these two cases, the potential due to both the charges will add up. So the net potential cannot be zero. But here in this case, this charge will produce a positive potential while this charge will produce a negative potential, and the net potential may be zero at a point on the line joining the charges. Now the important condition is that if charge Q1 is bigger in magnitude with respect to charge Q2, then the point at which the potential will be zero will be close to the smaller charge. That is, the point where you will find the potential zero will be close to the lower side. Now on the other hand, if you have such a condition that the magnitude of this charge is greater than the magnitude of this charge, then the point at which the potential will be zero will be close to small charge. So remember this, that if you will find a point on a line joining two opposite charges where the potential is zero, then potential is zero always at a point that is close to the smaller charge, and we will numerically verify it here also. So as per that condition, you can see that these two are the unlike charges, so the potential will be zero on the line joining these two charges, and as per the concept, the point must be near to this -2 charge. So I will take that, suppose this P point where I am just going to make potential zero is at a distance of x, the distance of this point from this charge will be 15 minus x. Now at P, if we find the net potential, the potential due to this charge, and that will be k times the charge divided by the distance 15 minus x plus the potential due to this charge, that is k times charge divided by the distance. Now as the question says that the potential at this point must be zero, so it is 0, that equals k multiplied with 10 is power minus 8. This is 3 by 15 minus x plus minus 2 by x. If you will simplify it, you will simply get 3 by 15 minus x equals to 2 by x, which on simplifying will be 3, x equals to 30 minus 2x, and on further simplifying you will get x as 6 centimeter. So the distance of this point from this charge is 6 centimeter, and if we will calculate the distance of point P from this charge, it will be 15 minus 6 is 9. It means the distance of this point from this charge is 9 centimeter, while from this charge is only 6 centimeter, and it proves this concept that the potential will be zero close to the smaller charge. Now the next question says that we are having a set of 3 charges that are placed like minus q, plus q and minus q, and the separation between 3 charges is same, that is all the charges are at a distance of r. Now we have to find the ratio of small q to the capital Q so that the potential energy of this system is 0. So we know that the potential energy for a pair of charge is given by this formula and where Q1 and Q2 are taken with proper sign. So for this system, first of all we will make the pair of 2 and 2 charges. So we are having 3 pairs. One constitute of these 2 charges, the second pair constitute of these 2 charges, and the third pair will constitute of these 2 charges. So the net potential energy is the sum of all these 3 pairs. So first of all I will write the potential energy for this pair of charge, and that will be K minus Q, capital Q, divided by R, plus the potential energy for this pair, that will be K Q minus Q divided by R, and at last for these 2 pairs of charges, that is K minus Q and divided by twice R, because the separation between these 2 charges will be R plus R, that is 2R. On simplifying, I will just write it like K small q by R, and that will be minus of Q and minus, sorry, this is plus Q by 2 only. If you will simplify this, as per question, the potential energy is 0. So this is going to be K Q by R minus of twice Q plus of Q by 2. And if you will simplify it, you will get minus of twice Q plus Q by 2 equals 0. So twice Q equals Q by 2. So Q equals Q by 4, or simply Q by small q is 1. This is the diagram for the next question, and as per the question we need to find out the potential difference between these 2 points A and C, and this is uniform electric field, and the magnitude of electric field is 5 × 10⁻³ Newton per Coulomb. As you can see clearly that it is a vertical line on this uniform electric field. So if this is uniform electric field and this is a line that is perpendicular on these electric field lines, so we can treat this line as an equipotential line, since you know that from the property of equipotential, the equipotential surface is always normal to the uniform electric field or electric field basically. So with the concept of equipotential surface, we can easily say that the potential at B must be equal to the potential at C. So what I will do, I will find out the potential between these 2 points A and B in the direction of electric field, and for that we will use the relation between field and potential. So we know that electric field in magnitude is potential gradient, negative of potential gradient. Now this is the potential difference between points A and B. So I will write like this. This is the separation between points A and B, and this is the magnitude of electric field that is constant for both the points A and B. So if I need the potential difference, I will simply write it as minus of delta E into delta x. Now this is a right angle triangle. This side is 3 cm, hypotenuse is 5. So from Pythagoras theorem we can easily calculate this separation as 4 cm. So I will put the value here, and we will get potential difference between A and B as negative of magnitude of electric field multiplied by the separation, that is 4, and since it is in centimeters, so I will convert it into voltmeter to make the system a SI system. This on simplifying will give VA minus VB, that's the potential difference, as 200 volt. Since the potential at B is same as the potential at C, so I can replace this VB by VC. So this is VA minus VC, and that is minus of 200 volt. So the potential between these 2 points is minus of 200 volt. Now this is the situation for the next question. We are having 3 equipotential surfaces, and the potential on each surface is 60 volt on this, next one is 30 volt and this final one is 20 volt, and the radii are 10, 20 and 30 centimeter, and we need to find out the direction of the electric field as well as variation of electric field in this situation. So as per the previous concepts, we know that this relation, that is, this clearly tells that the direction of electric field is always in the direction of decreasing potential. Since the potential is decreasing on going away from this point, it means the field must be directed in this direction, that is the direction of decreasing potential. Another important point, that these are equipotential surfaces, and I told you that for equipotential surface the field lines are normal to each other. So if I can draw the electric field lines for such equipotential surface, these will be something like this. All electric field lines will be normal to the equipotential surface and radially outward, since the potential is decreasing in this direction. So the direction of electric field will be definitely in the outward direction. First of all, we will see for this first potential surface, equipotential surface, the potential is 60 volt, potential as K Q by R. The potential for this surface is 60 and this is K. Q is the amount of charge that will be here at O, and R is the separation, that is 10 centimeters. So if I will convert it, it will be 0.1 meter, and which on simplifying means KQ as 6. Now for the same point on this equipotential surface, if I am interested in calculating the value of E, and the value of E due to a point charge is KQ by R square. Since the equipotential surfaces are spherical in nature, so I am just assuming that there is a point charge over here at O, and you have the value of KQ as 6 divided by R square. So clearly it can be seen that electric field decreases on going away from the charge, and that is true, that if you have a point charge, then on going away from the charge the electric field decreases.